Good morning, good morning, good morning. I just cracked a nice little joke, so we laughing already before we got on the podcast. But anyway, welcome to Let's Talk Business podcast with Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Today is February the 12th, 2021. Can y'all believe it's 2021?
No.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Hey, we got some special guests in the building, and one of them, not to tell his business, but I know he got some money, at least $800 something or something at least. No, I'm just kidding. We got Dave Taylor with us. He's a member of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, but he's also a business owner with Gulf Coast Navigations, and we have Tabatha Barron with us, and she's with Keeping Your Kids Safe. You gotta love both of them. We need both of them. We need good trucking. We need people to deliver our stuff places, and we need people to keep our kids safe. Those of you that are parents. So, welcome.
Oh, thank you. It's nice to be back, man.
Man, it's good to have you back. We're gonna laugh and have a good time on this podcast with Tabatha here. We got Dave here too. So, Dave, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
I'm Dave Taylor, owner of Gulf Coast Navigation. I've been in Houston since 2012.
Okay.
I've been a member of the chamber right at a year. It's exciting. Something I've been looking forward to as far as joining the chamber, and then being a part of a black chamber. Man, I have so much to say, but
But you forgot to mention that you won 7 times.
Yeah.
7 times. You won $700 last year, February.
Yeah, last year, February, we did a book drive with Mr. Anthony Brogdon. He had the 200 facts about black businesses from the 1800s to 1960s, and we did a trivia, and we had sponsors for that trivia. One of the sponsors was Nicole Corrett. She's a member here, and then Nicole Wilson was one of the sponsors, and then I myself sponsored. And what we did is we asked questions from that book. We promoted that book the week before or 2 weeks before. Sold the book. We sold the book for I think $10, and then gave away a shirt with the book. If you purchased the book and on our website, we gave a shirt away with it. And we asked questions that following week, and we were giving out $100 for each segment of the podcast for I think it was like 4 weeks straight for the whole month of February. Yep. Once a week in February, that Friday, which is when we have our podcast, we were giving away the money, and Dave called in every time, and I think he would have won all of it, but he felt sorry, for the other people that wasn't calling in and took a break to let them call in. So, but first, let me go ahead and thank our President Club members and our sponsors, which is Amico Federal Credit Union. Hey, look, if you're looking for a good credit union, or you have a credit union, you want to open up with a new credit union that serves the community and helps out, Amico Federal Credit Union is the way to go. And then Enlighten Enterprises. Also, Southwest Airlines is a proud member of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce and one of our big supporters over the years. So, just thanking our sponsors. And if you're interested in sponsorship, you are welcome to come and be a part of our sponsorship. All you have to do is contact us at I can't remember the number. 832-875-3977. I was just kidding when I said I couldn't remember the number. I was just kidding. It's just a laugh.
It's okay.
So Tabatha, ironically, used to be our host.
I know, that's why this is so funny.
Yeah, no, I'm hosting. She used to have me on here all the time, and we laughed and joked and had a good time. And now I'm the host, and she's back with us. Oh, and I'm your host, Howard Johnson. I'm the vice president here at Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. I am also a business owner myself. I own 707 Management, which is a project management and construction. I do general contracting, construction, project management, and I do project management across the board. I do project management for logistics companies, for IT, and for construction. So I have a degree in project management. So it's fun.
That's
It's
nice.
what I like to do. So Tabatha, it's been a while. Tell us about yourself. Tell the people
All right.
who don't know Tabatha who Tabatha is and what KIKS does.
I know, kicks is pronounced kicks, keeping your kids safe. So what we do is we help the students go home the way the parents intended. So no more children left at the back of the bus, no more children dropped off at the wrong bus stop.
Okay.
Everybody goes home on time the first time, and you as a parent gets a text message every step of the way. So I can just tell you that, so after spending about a little bit over 15 years in engineering, I decided to take my skill set and develop a platform that was going to be able to support. Right. So I took my education and my history, everything I've learned, and put it towards a business that was very much needed. Because my niece got put on the wrong school bus twice in the same school year as a 5-year-old.
Hold on, I'm going to stop you real quick. She said she took her education and put it towards a business that is needed. Are y'all listening to her? So she found something she liked to do, something she enjoyed doing, and turned that into a business for it. Am I correct?
That is correct.
That's what I thought I heard, y'all. I'm just making sure.
That's correct.
I'm just making sure y'all hear this, what she talking about.
Because what I used to tell people all the time is that what you do today, what you love to do today, can turn into a business. You have to just be willing to figure out how can that funnel into something that's going to help other people.
How you could get to the money.
Get to the money.
That's my homeboy would say, pick up the money.
Pick it
up.
Pick up the money. So yeah. That's what this is about. We're just trying to figure it out.
Exactly.
And I've joined the
And
ranks
you're a chamber member as well.
Yes, I am a chamber member.
How long have you been with the chambers?
A year.
Wow.
It's coming up. No, actually.
So you and Dave been with the chambers about the same
time. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, and I was introduced to you via the phone and was able to give you $700. Well, how awesome is that?
Exactly. So what made you join Tri-County? What made you join?
Because the chamber, when I came, I had gotten so much knowledge from sitting and talking to Miss Leandria. So I was sitting there, I was like so amazed. So I got introduced to the chamber and I was like, okay, I'll go visit. And so other chambers that had visited were not doing what this chamber was doing. And I recognized that there is a disparity between how we are treated in different spaces. And in this one, I could actually see that the information that was meant for everyone is actually being disseminated to us directly. And that was something that we were missing when dealing with other groups. So I decided to join this one. So
I'm gonna ask Dave the same question, but before I ask Dave that question, let me borrow $20 till tomorrow. That was for my sister. My sister tuned in to the podcast. I know she's dying laughing over there. So Dave, what made you join the chambers?
Whew. I'm gonna give y'all the short version.
Okay, all right.
And the reason why I'm gonna give you guys the short version because I don't want to speak on other chambers.
Okay.
Say that much.
That's
you know exactly
that's
what I did.
a great take. That's a great take. That's one thing I never do.
Right.
Even in contracting, if I come in and a client has hired me to do a job that somebody else started, and it is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, I never walk in and say that.
Yeah.
All I do is walk in and say, okay, we have a problem and I can fix it. I'm solution oriented.
Right.
So I'm looking for the solution. No matter what the problem is, my question to you is how can we fix it?
Right.
So I'm not dwelling on what the last person did. So that's a good take, Dave. That's all I was trying to say in that.
Yeah. And the reason why is because I know well, we have fits and categories for everyone. And I feel like talking to Miss
Leandria.
Yeah, she just had me. I felt like her grandson for one.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No, not like a son. Don't,
like a son.
Don't make it.
Well, yeah, I make that. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. She made me feel like a son. And so as I talked to her and the information, I felt empowered.
Yes.
I felt empowered. Like some stuff that she told me, like I never knew.
She has that effect on people. She has that effect on people, and she has that knowledge. So I'm gonna let you continue.
Yeah. She has, and you know what? I came back a few times, and it was just like every time I talked to her, I just feel like I'm just gonna be honest. She felt like my grandmother.
Yeah.
It was that conversation that I wanted from my grandmother
Yes.
that I felt comfortable enough to say, you know what, this is where I need to be at. And then finally, actually, it took me like maybe 2-3 weeks. So I figured, like a week before my birthday was when I joined. So my 39th birthday, I signed up with the chamber. And I was in transition because I had got in an accident, so I wasn't operating in my business per
Just
se,
Mm-hmm.
but all the workshops I attended.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that she threw at me, I was coming, and I
Mhm.
felt alive.
Yes.
I felt alive. Like I
Yeah.
really did. Like I felt like, you know what?
It lit a spark.
A little spark. It was like,
Yeah.
bro, you got this.
You
can
found a
do this.
community.
Yeah.
I found a community.
Yes.
Yep.
Because
You know
that's
what
what
I'm
it
saying?
was.
And I ain't had to come in there and be some
Somebody-
this guy.
Yeah,
right?
you
I could come
didn't
in
have
and
to
be
have it
myself.
all together.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have to have it
Right.
all together to become a part of this chambers.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know.
And then you had somebody that realized the transparency, saying, "Hey, look, I don't have everything together, but you know, I'm at the brink of starting my business." And I'm saying these things, and I ask these questions for a reason. I'm asking the questions of why they join, so that people listening who are not members of the chambers can see the reason that other people decided to become members, and maybe understand or hear what that person had to say, or what the benefits of becoming a member of this chambers is. I usually talk about when I joined the chambers. It's been a while. I've been with the chambers for a minute. Almost 10 years, 10 years. So I've been with the chambers for a while. And we were just kind of right now, just kind of talking to each other, getting to know each other, feeling the vibe back and forth, just kind of talking about the chambers. The topic of this show is a tribute to Black history. And, you know, last year's, you know, trivia host and the winning caller are who we have here today.
Yeah.
So you was the trivia host, and he was the winning caller from last year. So this was just, you know, it's Black history. It's a year later. Let's come back and talk about it and do it again. Man, it doesn't seem like it's been a whole year.
It doesn't. That's because we were on timeout.
Yeah,
Still are. We're still on
yeah.
timeout, so we struggling through it.
It went really, really fast. It went really, really fast. But in our tribute to Black history, last week's podcast, I just hit y'all with a bunch of information. If you didn't get a chance to check it out, you want to hear about Black history, some good books about Black presidents in the U.S., you know, before Obama, you know, before, you know, Ms. Condoleezza, you know, you want to hear about, you know, I said Condoleezza, Kamala Harris. Please.
Oh man, Kamala
Please.
Harris, Condoleezza Rice. There's so many different women.
Yeah,
That's
but
what
it's just
this
the black women in power. But just talking about just information about Black history. Like I went over Philip Randolph. I went over Baynard. I can't even remember Baynard's last name, but Philip Randolph was the man who organized the first March on Washington in 1950s or 1940s. Can't remember the exact date, but anyway, Philip Randolph organized the March on Washington. The president called him and asked him, well, what are your demands before you march? Let me see what your demands are. And he met his demands, so they canceled the first march. The second March on Washington, ironically, Martin Luther King participated in. And Philip Randall was the organizer then, and Baynard was Philip Randall's assistant, who later became the assistant, or I guess they would call him a publicist now, for Martin Luther King. So he organized, Baynard organized the Alabama bus sitting and the third march where Martin Luther King delivered his I Have a Dream speech. So that I Have a Dream March on Washington was actually the third one that was organized and the second one that was executed. And a lot of people don't know that about Black history. They think that that's the only time that Black people marched on Washington. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not.
There is something wild about history.
It
Because at the end of the day, the story that's being narrated is always a story that makes us the underdog.
Mhm.
But U.S. history wouldn't be history without Black history.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, depending on how we choose to narrate the story, it depends on how well the story is being told, and then who's going to be the hero in the story. Because ultimately, there is not always a man on a white horse that's going to come and save most of us. And so the story that's mostly being told are ones that would lead us to believe that we have to wait for a savior of some kind.
Yep,
And that's not the truth.
And it might just be a man on the horse passing by, and if you asked him a question or you said, "Excuse me, sir, can you direct me this way?" He'll direct you where you need to go.
Right.
It's not going to be your savior every time.
But
Yeah.
here's the thing: the savior doesn't always have to be someone from a different community.
Exactly.
The savior is actually, so if we take a look at history as it is now, like if we look back, there are a lot of things that were created and invented and put together from black people to answer the call to what they were tired of doing.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, a lawnmower was originally created by a black man. Why? Because he was tired of going out there and cutting the lawn, so to speak. So he had to find a better way to do it because he was so tired.
Yep.
How did the cotton gin get here?
Exactly.
Okay, and then we talk about moonshine.
Tired of cutting their fingers.
Right?
Yeah.
All
And
these different things that are happening, but a lot of the times that stuff is being like overshadowed by the narrator of the story who puts in a savior that doesn't exist.
Yep. Yep. And a lot of black history is lost because it's not highlighted. Like you talk about inventions. I talked about a man last week. You know, everybody thought that, you know, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, but he didn't. The incandescent light bulb was invented by a guy named Lewis, I think it's Thurman or Truman. And also they talk about Alexander Graham Bell and the phone. The same man, Lewis Thurman, invented he did the drawings that allowed Alexander Graham Bell to invent the phone. So, you know, there are a lot of things that are left in a misconception phase because it's not clarified that, you know, Thomas Edison improved on an already existing invention.
Yeah. No, because it's the story that needs to be told that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have an example that you have that you've experienced? Because I think ultimately that's what this is about.
Yeah.
Because you won all the money last year for answering the questions in the Black Business Book, right? Because of the fact that there were a lot of things in there that we're asking to get people to understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, the one thing I will say, I'm confused.
Okay.
About
I'm confused. And the reason why I say I'm confused is we have all this history.
Mm-hmm.
We have this documentation of us being inventors.
Mm-hmm.
But I see us getting no wealth from it. That's when I looked through that book.
Mm-hmm.
That I was PO'd about that.
Mr. Taylor, welcome to America.
Right? I get that. I really do. I get that. I get
Welcome
that
to
part.
America, sir.
I get that. I get that part of it. By all means, I get that part of it, right? But just going through it, I'm just like, look at these inventions. Look at this person that invented this, and the one. I don't watch TV.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't watched TV since Ebola.
Well, that's allowing somebody else to tell the vision. They call it television for a reason,
Right.
because somebody else is telling you the
their
vision.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It's not bad to watch TV. Don't listen to me and
Depends
say
on
that I
what
said
you're
that.
watching.
But I don't indulge in a bunch of television either.
I have a library. I read.
Man,
I am Black Power, pro-Black to the fullest. Gulf Coast Navigation is designed to hire faces that look like me,
Mm-hmm.
right? I run it now. It's a small operation, but I run it like a Fortune 500.
and that's what you're supposed to do.
That's how I run it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know the things that I have in place between my landscaping and the trucking is to hire felons and military vets.
Mm-hmm.
Iron sharpen iron is strengthening men mentally, physically, emotionally, financially.
Yep.
Because I know in order for a face to look like me and to really want to come and work with me, I'm going to have to do some mental work, just like I'm doing the mental work,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you see me, you may feel a certain type of way, and it's okay for me to be in a position of power.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's okay for me to thrive in that and dwell in that and not have to depend on the savior on the white horse.
Yes.
Y'all know exactly what I mean.
Yes.
You know? And I feel like we have been so ingrained in that because we don't know the history. And you got to dig for this history.
Yeah.
This ain't popping up on that. It's excuse me. I'm
That's all
sorry.
right.
It's all right.
It's in books.
Yeah.
You have to read
The
it.
best kept secrets are hidden in books.
In plain sight.
In plain sight, because people won't pick them up and read them. And the titles will tell you exactly what you're about to read.
Yeah, but I think that I get it, but I think that there's a lot to be said about the fact that sometimes we don't necessarily You don't necessarily have to read the history in order to live the history.
Exactly.
Because here's the thing, all of this stuff is ingrained in our bodies, in our DNA. Do you believe that your mom said to your son all the crazy things you did when you were little, and she whispered it? She had a phone line, 1-to-1 to this baby, and told him all of the things that you used to do when you were younger? No. But you're going to notice that as your child grows, you're going to start to notice that he does things that only you know you did, right? Yep. And that means that in our DNA, we already know that the greatness exists. The inventors, the doctors, the lawyers, everything that we are, we already have in our DNA. And so when you wake up and you're like, I am very motivated and encouraged and ready to go and conquer something, and you don't know why, it's almost like your ancestors are behind you, pushing you towards the goal of accomplishing your vision, because it's ingrained in who you are.
I got to piggyback. We gonna talk today. Yeah, we gonna talk today.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm speaking, I'm glad you brought that up. And on my Iron Sharpen Iron platform, which I do a lot of Facebook Live stuff. I've been, speaking engagements, prison ministry, things that I'm working on it. And I talked about that because I was wondering. I'm from a small town in Louisiana called Donaldsonville, Louisiana. It's small, like you pass through a type thing, right?
You say you didn't miss it?
That type thing, right? And so I was talking to my dad. People bring things to me, and I'm wondering, like, why have I been passionate about real estate or just building, like, trucking company, things of that nature? And then when I really sit down and talk to my dad, it's in our DNA. My grandfather owned a store. Yeah. His brothers owned blocks in Donaldsonville. Yeah. Like they had real estate and they had transportation opportunities. And I'm wondering, like, why am I nothing else? You know what I'm saying? It was just that, and I knew from the get-go that I was a leader and a businessman, and not knowing it came from that part of, you know what I'm saying, when we say that DNA part.
So I do a lot of audio. I love, because I don't have a bunch of time to sit down with a book right here in my hands in front of me, but I have all the time in the world to take these things that I keep with me all the time and put an audio book on and listen to that book. I put those headphones on. I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it while I'm on an airplane. I can do it while I'm sitting at my computer working on other stuff. I can listen and retain the knowledge. So I do a lot of listening. And in listening, I'm listening to a philosopher, and I'll plug him in a second. But he's telling me, okay, I'm gonna give you the challenge. Here's the challenge. In your mind, without saying any words, anybody that's listening, try this. In your mind, without saying any words, say, "Let's Talk Business Podcast." Don't say it out loud. Just in your mind. Just say it. Did you hear it when you said it? Can you hear the inaudible that's in your mind? If you say in your mind, you just sit here and you look at this and you read that. You heard yourself say, "Let's Talk Business Podcast," but you didn't say a word. Who is that speaking inside you? How can you hear the inaudible without it being audible? Where did that come from? What part of your being is that can talk to you without saying a word? Communicate. You can communicate with yourself without saying a word. You can look. They're called thoughts. You look and you'll see GMT radio right there, and you can say it in your mind.
But you can hear it.
But you can hear it, and you can understand it, and you know what it is, and you can retain it. What is that inner part of you that's speaking? What is that inner part of you that's talking? And that's how our ancestors communicate with us. What we need to do as people is understand how to meditate and get to a point where we can hear that voice every time it speaks. Every time it gives us a suggestion to do something, or it gives us information that nobody else will give us. And that's what we've lost touch of. We've lost touch of the information that's not spoken. We've lost touch of the connection to our ancestors that give us the information. Information was not passed down over generation by, okay, come here, son, let me teach you this. No, the ancestors came to that next generation and gave them that knowledge. They embedded that knowledge into them. Man, I don't want to run people away. We can't. I'm gonna have to put a wall right here and stop. I'm gonna put a wall right here. Let me go in and thank our sponsors again. President Club members, Amico Federal Credit Union. I talked about them earlier. Enlightened Enterprises, definitely Southwest Airlines. And like I say, if you want to become a sponsor, all you got to do is reach out to us here at the Chambers. 832-875-3977. I might have said the number wrong earlier. But
oh, Lord.
Please forgive me. I'm in trouble. 832-875-3977.
This is crazy.
And I mean, we're just having a conversation. We are iron that's sharpening iron right now. That's a great name for, the movement that you're working on, because that's what it is. It's a movement.
Right.
But here at Tri-County, that's our motto is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. It's a network of people here because Tri-County's mission is that, we're committed to acquiring and disseminating valuable business information, resources, and tools for member firms. The member firms being Gulf Coast Navigation, Keeping Your Kids Safe, 707 Management, and anyone else that is a member firm. We will gather, acquire, and disseminate the business information, not just business information, but valuable business information. That means it has value to it. It will add value to your business. Resources and tools. So you get resources and tools. Valuable being the first word. If y'all listening to me, are y'all listening to me? Value, it adds value. Value. That is our mission. And we disseminate, we acquire it and disseminate it to prosperity. That means you get money in the community. Mm-hmm. The economy is stimulated because you're prospering. Man, I'm gonna stop talking. In the region and internationally. Because Tri-County services 4 regions, and we also service international countries. We have business in Central America, the Caribbean, and South America. And we're going to add some other places. I don't know if I can say it yet, but I get permission. And once I get permission, I'll let y'all know.
Oh, my gosh.
But, Region 1, we service Harris County, Montgomery County, and Liberty County. Region 2, we service Galveston County, Brazoria County, Fort Bend County. Region 3, we service Chambers County, Jefferson County, and Orange County. And Region 4, which is one that we just added within the last year, we service Jasper County, Newton County, and Hardin County. There's actually, two more regions that we have to open up. I think it's going to be a total of 16. No, I can't remember. I think it's 18 regions that we're going to service. 18 counties that we're going to service altogether. 6 regions, I think, is the total. But when we have Ms. Thompson on here, she talked to us about her vision. And we keep saying Ms. Thompson, and I apologize if you don't know who I'm talking about. Ms. Leandria Thompson, who is the president and founder of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Man, when I tell you a wealth of knowledge, Ms. Thompson, she knows stuff. She knows it. She knows how to apply it. She knows how to teach you how to apply it, and she knows how to delegate. So if she's not able to help you, she can put you in touch with people that can help you. Like, I'm in the construction field, and there's been many a times that members have joined the chambers. And Ms. Thompson called me. She says, "Hey, Howard, I have a member that joined the chambers, and he needs help with A, B, and C. I'm gonna have him call you." And there's never a time that I said, "Nah, he can't call me, Ms. Thompson." I said, "That's no problem. Have him call me." As soon as he calls me, I know who he is when I first answer the phone. I'm like, "Hey, how you doing? Yeah, Ms. Thompson told me you were going to call. How can I help you?" And they are, one, surprised. They're like, "Man, she told me, that I could call you, but I didn't know you was going to be prepared." And then, I thought it was going to be like, getting your teeth pulled at the dentist. I said, "No, this is easy, brother. We can have a conversation about whatever you want to talk about." I said that's what the chambers is. It's a network, and so as a network, if somebody in the chambers is in a position that you're trying to attain, get that person's information and reach out to them and ask them a question. Because I'll be 100% honest with you, they didn't start out at the level that they are now. They probably were in the same position that you may be in right now. So ask them, hey, look, how did you get to where you are? What steps did you make? Was it hard? Ask them questions. Look at people ask for mentorship all the time. And I've had a person that's mentored me and he didn't even know he was my mentor.
Yeah.
Because by vision, I sat back and watched him. And when I had a question, I didn't say, hey, can you be my mentor? I called him and I said, hey, Mr. Smith, when you did your business, why did you do this? And he'd be like, oh, Howard, man, I did this because of blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, thank you very much. I won't hold you any longer. He's like, oh, you can call me anytime. Got off the phone. Not one time did I say, can you be my mentor? I just called and asked questions. I had a question about something I was finna do in my business. His business was where I wanted to be. He builds custom homes. So I wanted to be able to build custom homes. And guess what I do now? I build custom homes. Been building custom homes. So I watched him from afar and only asked questions as I needed to take up his time. So just because somebody's mentoring you, and this is a nugget for y'all that's listening, this is a nugget. If you want a mentor, you don't have to physically take up that person's time or be in their office. They don't have to give you money, but you can acquire information and knowledge from them that doesn't cost them a thing and it doesn't cost you anything. And that knowledge is the fact that you can ask them how did they get to where they are, and they can clearly tell you. Or you can be in that business making steps in that business already, and when you hit a wall, you can pick up the phone and say, hey, do you have this in your business? Or did this happen to you in your business? And they may say yes and tell you how they got around it. So, I mean, it's a lot of ways to get ahead in business. And
this is true. Because we were talking about that earlier, right?
Yep.
About the fact that, as we're in business, and we're all reaching those points of frustration. The fact that even during the pandemic, they are actually reporting that Black-owned businesses have dropped significantly. But what we need to understand is that, just like I said before, we are inventors, we are creators, we put a lot of things in place, right? So understanding that we lost a lot of businesses in 2020, but we can actually regain them by paying attention to what the lessons we learned and paying attention to our history behind us and the neighbors beside us. And then we'll be able to recreate those businesses again and be able to double out the amount of businesses that we lost, because we can actually regain more of the community and of the market, as long as we are very focused on doing that and understanding that my frustration turns out to be your frustration. It turns out to be your frustration. But as long as we're together, or we can actually have a conversation, Ms. Leandra says, get out of your own head. We can actually learn that we're not in business by ourselves, and that everybody else is having that same type of experience, that frustration or feeling like they're going to give up.
Yeah, and I mean, you have times, even me being in business, it was times that, I woke up and I was like, man, why am I doing this? And then it was times that, after those few moments, I was like, okay, I do this for A, B, and C. I had to ask myself that question though. I think one of the topics we had last year was reassess, realign, and reaffirm, where you take a step back, assess your business, then you realign it, and then you reaffirm what it is that you're trying to do. So, I mean, man, the Chambers is really, really a good place. If you're not a member of the Chambers and you can hear my voice, go on the website and just check us out. Man. Go to Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.org and check us out. That's Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.org. We provide, the way we help businesses, we help them with access to capital. That means access to capital clearly means we help you get money. We point you in the directions to where you can access money. We have certification workshops. There are a number of certifications across the state of Texas that with your business, it allows you to have the entrepreneur parity that I talked about. You can compete on different jobs because of, frankly, the color of your skin or your status in business. As a minority in business, there are certifications that allow you to go after jobs that are government funded jobs because they have a minority participation goal that they have to meet.
Okay, so on that note, let me tell you. So you know how you had said earlier that the chamber does disseminate valuable information.
Mhm.
Well, they are doing that, and so I don't know if you. I know all of you have received these emails, and I went to one of these webinars,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy said he was like, "Okay, all of you are here," and most of us was minorities and women that were in there. And they're like, "You see this column right here? I'm gonna need y'all to go ahead and apply for some of these contracts because you're not present, but we have stuff for you." And so I think a lot of people were under the impression that there's no business out there for them to get, or there's no money out there to get. But the guy, he said, "We have it. You guys have got to come and apply for this." And a lot of the contracts that are out there and listed and government contracts and stuff, they're looking for us. They're looking for us to give us the contract, to make us subcontractors, whatever they need to do. But yet we're not showing up in those right places.
You can't play the game if you never get off the bench.
Right. I got. I'm gonna get to my story.
Come on now.
I went to a workshop. Actually, as of now, I am Hub certified.
Okay.
Yoo-hoo! Me too.
I'm Hub certified. So now I'm working on the DBE and the MBE.
So for those who don't know, Hub is historically underutilized business. DBE is disadvantaged business enterprise. Continue.
And so I went to a workshop, and so what made me fight even harder to get golf course navigation, to think about the landscaping business, and feel the things that I want to get into was like hearing these people say at these workshops that it's work for you guys. Yeah. It's money. It's millions out here for us, and you guys are not getting it.
Yep.
And I'm like, so you telling me,
pretty much,
if I take the time out and structure my business and get Hub certified, get DBE, MBE, I get in the process and I have my business structured to go out here and obtain contracts, I can grow my business.
Yep.
That is the first thing I said, access to capital. This is how we help you with access to capital. When I talked about, in our mission statement, when I talked about valuable business information, that valuable business information comes in the form of the chamber saying, you need to get Hub certified. You qualify for it. Why not go ahead and quantify for it?
Yeah.
Right.
You qualify for it. Why not go ahead and quantify for it? You qualify because you're a minority. So quantifying just means putting in the paperwork and filling it out, filling out the application, and getting the certification.
Yeah, yeah.
Resources and tools. That's a certification. A minority certification is a resource. It is also a tool. It's a resource because it belongs to you. And it is a tool because it allows you access to the money.
Right. I have, for me, I work construction. So I have friends that, and that's kind of my deal because I've been in a project manager role. I've done scheduling and planning. I don't have degrees, but I have a lot of certifications.
No, that's cool.
I'm talking about I'm always learning. That's my deal. Like I love to learn. So, and I'm talking to, because I've been in upper management in construction. And I tell them, a couple of buddies of mine, over the past, couple of months, I'm like, hey, you guys are welders, man. Y'all need to go get y'all cert, man. Y'all need to go, structure y'all business as a business because they have small commercial contracts and stuff that you guys can get instead of constantly fighting in this role of industrial role. I lay you off when I want, you hire when I want type deal. And it's like, bro, you can make this type of money with your own contract. Then I'm looking at, as far as landscaping, when I heard a workshop that we went to, the guy was saying, like, they got sections of the Beltway that
Yeah.
$500,000 a year. Just to,
99, just to maintain.
I'm like, maintain for
Yeah,
$500,000
pick up the
of
trash and-
landscaping. I'm like,
Listen, pick up the trash and cut the grass, man.
again,
What?
Yeah.
right?
That's
And I'm
it.
like, so that's when I said, for me, I've been enlightened, but I've had that struggle as a black male. I'm gonna be honest, right?
We
Yeah.
all have. We all have.
Not me. I'm as a black woman.
Right, as a black woman, right, for sure.
Very good.
But I see it from a different point because I know those brothers, they want opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm a felon, right, or a military vet, and I'm struggling a little bit, how can I get employment if you won't put me in position? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I'm the gatekeeper of that. So that's my you know what I'm saying, my point of the hustle and the struggle to
So
say
that's your corner of the field, man.
that's my corner of the field right there.
I don't think that there is anything that says you can't have a business if you were a felon.
No, but I think that part of what I hear him saying is that there's a lot of people out here who have felonies, and primarily, just think about it. So black men have a lot more felonies because they are making it so that these men are not able to take care of themselves, so that they can continue to perpetuate the slavery that they want to put in place.
Here it goes.
But then they don't allow. Those same men can't go out and find jobs. And he's saying, "I'm the gatekeeper. I can get you to the job, to the money, so that you can take care of your family as a felon and as somebody who the mainstream, opportunities are not available to you. So here, come to me, and I'll help you get where you need to go, and then we can help build this build this together."
My thing with the landscaping, right? My landscaping business is to make those men owners, part owners, not just employees, but part owners. Structuring that business to say, you know what, I'm coming to tailor-made land care, but I own a piece of this company, right? Just because I've been in that position, a military vet or I'm a felon, right? I'm still working towards something. You know what I'm saying? I have something to achieve. Like I'm a part owner of this, not just saying employment. Because I feel like sometimes for us, like, to make it seem a little bit different, like, you know what I'm saying? Because society, they put us in a box.
Yes, indeed.
Right? They put us in a box. So to get that mindset out of the box, make him part of something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, at every quarter you get a stipend. You go a little part of something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? Now you could go and get you a place to stay, a decent ride, or things of that nature, instead of just saying, man, I got to go work at McDonald's at 45, 50, and, I got to work triples and doubles just to try to make a decent check. You know what I'm saying? Not saying nothing wrong with any of those positions.
There isn't anything wrong with that.
By no means, but this all I could go out and get. Because if I go to try to apply for something else, they asking me, do I have a felon? Am I a felon? How many years? And then sometimes I've been in positions that I've seen, even though it's 10 years old, guess what? You had a felon.
So
we're not giving.
In talking about this, we were talking about the prison system. We were talking about a few things. I just want to bring some points out. We talk about Black history.
This is
and we
history.
talked about you stressed the point that you see all these inventors and why we receive no credit for it. Do you know the year slavery was abolished? I ain't gonna even make you think about it. 1865.
Yes.
1865. It was illegal to slavery it was abolished. The same year, the Southern prison reform started. They said we can't have you as a slave. We'll have you as a prisoner.
Correct.
And the 13th Amendment states
that you are enslaved.
Right.
You cannot have a slave unless
he is a prisoner.
He is a prisoner.
Correct. So that's where all of this comes from. And so we understand that. But based on that alone, so when you look at some of the crimes that some of the gentlemen in jail have committed and the number of years, That is so overwhelmingly wrong. So when you have a man who literally only had a marijuana joint on him, and he got 60 years in prison, that's problematic. When you have Felicity Huffman and I forgot the mama name from Full House, one did 14 days and the other one did 90 days. Meanwhile, at the right around the same time that they were having their problems, a black woman was being sentenced to multiple years in prison for using an address of a family member or someone else to get her child in primary school, which means K through 8, K through 12. She was trying to get them a better education, and she is going to serve multiple years in prison. But these women were able to give a college thousands and thousands of dollars to put their children in secondary school, which is higher education. So when you have that type of disparity, it is very problematic or it's very hard for people to say that it's right, or things like that. So there's two different types of justice systems, and so 1865 slavery was abolished, but at the same time they put into place prison reform. And what the goal is that they're not trying to incarcerate those who look like them who created the rules. They're trying to incarcerate anybody and everybody who they feel has escaped slavery. So now when we go out into these jobs and we're doing these jobs and we're having them do 2 and 3 shifts a day, or 2 and 3 whatever, you have to pick up these doubles and triples in order to make a decent check. That is also, in my opinion, and please only my opinion, is another point of slavery. It's another way to enslave you, because then and only then do you never have an opportunity to think or envision what your life can be like, further than just trying to put food on the table so your baby doesn't starve.
And there's this terminology that says, I'm trying to make ends meet.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The irony of that is ends will never meet.
Correct.
They're both ends. They will never meet. Like, if you're trying to make ends meet, if that's your attitude, and not that I'm not saying that's a bad attitude. All I'm saying to you right now is if that's the terminology that you use when you describe your plight or your destiny in America, you trying to make ends meet, you need to change that to something else, because ends will never meet. Ends do not meet.
Nope.
They will never meet. So you need to change how you change your outlook. You'll get a different product. If you're not happy with the product, if you're not happy with the ends not meeting, change what you're putting into it. Change what you're putting into it. You'll get a different product. And I'm still on this slavery being abolished in 1865. The Southern prison reform system started in 1865 to 1890. After 1890, it was done away with. But you know what happened in 1891?
What happened?
The United States prison system started. And the federal prison system started in the United States in 1891. So, 1890, December, Southern
people down south are a little different.
1891, January 1891, the United States federal prison system was developed, and all the other prisons around the U.S. So it's just, man.
That's a lot.
I tell some people. I was talking to a young man. He said, and I'm very transparent. So I just told this young brother, man. He was like, man, Mr. Howard, I got a felony, blah blah blah, man. You doing real good. I said, my brother, the difference between me and you got caught and I didn't. And I told him that because that's the truth. Some people have felonies because they got caught. And some people don't have felonies because they didn't get caught. That doesn't mean that they haven't done anything wrong in life. They just didn't get caught. And I wanted him to understand that his felony is not who he really is. It's something that's happened to him in life. But don't allow that experience to keep you down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't allow that experience to limit your thinking. Yeah, that's something that the government has put on your title. You're a felon. You're an ex-felon. So what? You're an ex-con. So what? So what? Like I told you earlier, I am a solution-oriented person. What's the solution to this? What can we do to get around this? You say it's a problem. I don't see it as a problem. You say it's a problem. What can we do to get around this problem? How can we find a solution to help you? If that's something that you're going to allow to bother you in life, well, let's find a solution for it so it can stop bothering you and so you can continue to live your life. Unfortunately, we have one life to live. That was a soap opera a long time ago, and it was a very great title. You have one life to live. Live that life. You know, people talking to me, oh, you going here, you going there, it's COVID. I said, I'm not about to allow a coronavirus to stop me from living my life. I will take every precaution I need to take, but I am going to continue to live my life.
Right.
I'm not going to be out at a club with a whole bunch of people. I'm too old to go to clubs. But I am going to continue to live my life.
Maybe
I'm going to
club.
continue to do the things that I need to do necessary for me to live my life. So I'm not going to allow a virus to stop me from living my life. And I'm not saying that you or anybody needs to be like me, but I'm just saying that there are things that you can allow to put a roadblock in front of you that are not necessary. So, I mean, I challenge people on here today, man, just take a step back, you know, get involved in what's going on with Black history. You know, look at what people were doing in the 1800s. It was Black people that had businesses. It was Black people that were graduating from college. It was Black people that were running companies. It was Black people who owned homes. They owned mortgage companies. It was Black people that were doing the thing in the 1800s all the way up until 1960 when all of this craziness was going on.
You're funny. So this is good. I'm glad you said this. So here's the thing. Now, what I chose to do this month for Black History was I actually did a Black History month on my Instagram and my Facebook.
Okay.
And so what I did was I made a decision. We always talk about all of the history, all the people, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all the people who actually started positioning us in the right direction to get what we needed in this life. So our ancestors and the people who came before us and did all the work are pushing us forward for us to make a difference and a change. But here's the thing, every day we're making history.
Yeah.
So what I decided to do on my Instagram, and you can look it up too, it's at KYKSFirst. And that's my handle. You will notice that I have found people who are doing great things. Miss Leandria is listed on here. Stacey Abrams is listed on here. So what I did was I have it, and you can take a look, and it says, we are creating history.
Yeah.
Doctors, lawyers, CPAs, all of us are creating history. So don't just look towards the 1860s
Exactly.
or 1950 for your leaders or the ones who are making history.
Yeah.
Because
There's people out here every
Keisha
day.
Lance Bottoms is making history. You know, first of all, Princeton had their very first Black valedictorian.
Wow.
How is that possible in a history of 275 years of existence? You only had one Black valedictorian. It was a male named Nicholas Johnson. He's making history. He's made history. He's created it. So you are creating history. And so I just wanted to make sure that I shared the fact that I appreciate, love, honor, and respect all the ones who came before us, John Lewis, and Claudette Colvin, Rosa Parks. You have so many different people. Emmett Till had a major part in this. The Obamas. All of these people participated and contributed to where I am today, where we all are today, and how our mindset and our visions and things like that are very much in line. But we have to make sure, for me, I just wanted to be able to acknowledge the people who are using their individual platforms to help me on my platform.
Man, we don't have so much fun talking here. We don't run out of time, but
Woot, woot.
this is the Let's Talk Business podcast. Today we talked about business. We talked about Black history. Our topic today was a tribute to Black history. Last year's trivia host, Tabatha, and the winning caller, Mr. Dave Taylor. Just again, we want to thank our sponsors, Amico Federal Credit Union and Enlighten Enterprises, and supporting our Let's Talk Business podcast. And it's funny that you say that, but that's one of our mottos here for Black history is called History Made and History in the Making.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what we talk about
That's
here.
what we doing.
If you're Black and you're in business right now, you own your own business, you are a part of history being made. You're making history. So, don't discount yourself, man. That's just, I talk about the Black history in the past just so you can have a visual or have the information that tells you that you can do it. I mean, if these people did it in the times that they did it in and what they were going through, you have every opportunity today to do this. If you're thinking about starting a business, you want to start a business, contact us here at Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce.
I got one before we go.
Come on.
I want to say, dreams come true. And the reason why I say that, because I did a vision board. And on that vision board, I said that I would be on some type of radio, TV. I said I am going to be that male model at 40, 45. I said, so many things I have said, and it is manifesting. Mm-hmm. So do not give up. It doesn't matter how it looks. I was going to say, keep pushing, keep striving, and if you don't know, please ask.
Yep. The stupidest questions are the ones that go unasked. There's no such thing as a stupid question. So again, thank y'all for tuning in to Let's Talk Business podcast. I am your host, Howard Johnson, the Vice President of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, and also the owner, operator, director, project manager for 707 Management. We have Tabatha Barron, keeping your kids safe, and Mr. Dave Taylor with Gulf Coast Navigation. Also, he's in construction and a few other things. So, hey, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week, February the 19th. Yep, same time, same bat channel.